Archaeologists sometimes can't believe their eyes when they make amazing discoveries about the past. They sit there, fixated on whatever they've just found, questioning whether it could truly be real. Having seen some of these findings ourselves, we get why they trigger such a deep sense of awe. By bringing them to you in this video, we hope to pass along that very same feeling. Let's start off this countdown with number 15. Koltepin Ancient Tank Track Theory. Russian geologist Dr. Alexander Koltepin claims that an intelligent, non-human civilization once drove huge all-terrain vehicles or tanks across central Turkey, leaving fossilized tracks in the volcanic rock of the Phrygian Valley. Based on his geological analysis, he dates the markings to between 12 and 14 million years ago. All these rocky fields were covered with the ruts left by some millions of years ago, he said. We are not talking about human beings. We are dealing with some kind of cars or all-terrain vehicles. The deep ruts, preserved in tufaceous rock, intersect across vast areas. Some grooves are nearly 3 feet deep, with consistent spacing between pairs. Koltepin also noted horizontal scratches on rut walls, possibly from ancient axles. He argues the tracks formed in soft, wet soil and later petrified naturally, much like fossilized dinosaur footprints. The view of the ruts leaves no doubt that they are ancient, he stated. He believes archaeologists ignore such evidence because it contradicts accepted history. Number 14. Minoan Rock Crystal Vase. Back in 2020, archaeologists unearthed a 3,500-year-old vase in Zakros, a site once part of the Minoan civilization on Crete. What made the find remarkable wasn't its shape, but its material, rock crystal. Shaping such a hard, irregular substance into a vessel required great precision, especially without metal tools. The vase, discovered amid rubble likely caused by the Thera eruption around 1450 BCE, is uneven and lacks symmetry. But its surface had been wrapped in ornate beads, suggesting ceremonial use. Zakros was a key Minoan settlement, though its original name is unknown. Most Minoan vases were ceramic, making this crystal example a clear outlier. Whether it served as a drinking vessel, ritual container, or symbolic object remains uncertain. Its craftsmanship, however, speaks to the Minoans' resourcefulness and aesthetic choices, even when working with difficult materials. This object may not match the polish of others, but its rarity offers a deeper glimpse into the craftsmanship of a long-lost Mediterranean culture. Number 13. The Ancient Settlement at Jaltapan. Back in 2015, construction in Jaltapan, Mexico, unexpectedly led to the discovery of an entire ancient settlement. Excavations revealed the remains of a city about to be 2,000 years old, complete with a central pyramid and surrounding tombs. Within the graves, archaeologists found 30 human skeletons, each interred with personal belongings, clay figurines, jade ornaments, mirrors, and even animal bones. The presence of animal remains suggests some people may have been buried alongside their pets. The pyramid structure measures roughly 40 feet tall, and while it could be Mayan in origin, there's strong evidence it may belong to the lesser-known Totonac or Huastec cultures. The presence of Teotihuacan-style pottery near Mayan structures raises the possibility that this settlement was multicultural. That theory is supported by the variety of burial goods and architectural influences found throughout the site. What started as routine construction became one of Veracruz's most surprising archaeological finds, revealing a community where multiple Mesoamerican cultures may have lived side by side. Number 12. Ancient Kouros statues discovered by farmer. In late 2018, a Greek farmer came across a limestone sculpture fragment while plowing his field near Atalante in the Ephthiatis region. What started as a single find soon led to the discovery of 3 full-sized Kouros statues buried together nearby. These male nude figures, carved in the archaic Greek style, are estimated to be roughly 2,500 years old. The discovery immediately prompted notification to the Greek Ministry of Culture. Kouroi figures are a long-standing archaeological mystery. Originally believed to depict Apollo, scholars now agree they do not represent specific deities. All are consistently styled, beardless, nude, with one leg slightly forward and arms down the sides, yet their precise role remains unknown. Reports from the site also mention the presence of 7 ancient graves beneath the statues, though little has been shared about what was found inside. The proximity of these statues and graves hints at some ceremonial or commemorative purpose, but their original context remains open to interpretation. Number 11. Ancient bronze mirrors in Shanxi Cemetery. Modern audiences often scoff at phrases like "live, laugh, love" etched into home decor, but sentimental messages on everyday items aren't new. Humans have been doing it for centuries. In 2021, archaeologists unearthed a trove of 80 bronze mirrors from graves in China's Shanxi province. The burial sites are from the Warring States period, making the artifacts over 2,200 years old. Despite widespread grave looting throughout Chinese history, the mirrors were untouched, possibly out of reverence. Modern-day researchers had no such hesitation and removed them carefully. Many were still positioned beside the heads of the deceased and retained traces of silk, suggesting they were once stored in decorative pouches or purses. The fact that both male and female remains had mirrors implies they served a universal symbolic purpose. Their inscriptions are both poetic and aspirational, bearing phrases like "eternal joy," "live long in memory," and "wealth for my family." As always, people wanted to be remembered and wished the same for others. Number 10. 5,000-year-old paint palette. Human artistic expression stretches back tens of thousands of years, but this 5,000-year-old paint palette, found in Turkey in 2020, offers a rare glimpse into early craftsmanship. Unearthed during excavations at the ancient settlement of Chaltilar, the clay palette contains several small indentations used for mixing pigments. Researchers believe it belonged to an artisan who likely used it to decorate ceramics, vessels, or other everyday objects, rather than for painting murals or cave walls. Saltilar sat along an important trade route linking Syria to the Balkans, and its cultural layers suggest a crossroads of artistic and commercial exchange. The palette is the oldest of its kind ever found, predating all known artist tools globally. Each well on the palette preserves traces of mineral-based color, helping researchers reconstruct the color palettes used by early Anatolian artisans. Rather than being a ceremonial item, this tool reflects practical, skilled labor, proof that tricky aesthetic traditions existed much earlier than previously assumed. Number 9. Oldest astrolabe from Portuguese shipwreck. Astrolabes were once essential tools for navigation, and back in March 2019, the world's oldest known example was recovered from a shipwreck off Oman's coast. The instrument had sunk with a vessel from Vasco da Gama's Fourth India Armada in 1503. Though references to astrolabes date back to the 6th century, physical examples from that period haven't survived. This particular device, dating just over 500 years, was among the wreckage of a ship that went down in a storm. Used to calculate celestial altitude, it allowed mariners to estimate their position at sea. While functional astrolabes eventually fell out of favor by the 18th century, they were once a staple in maritime travel. Most existing ones were melted down for other uses. This example features unique etchings and a simplified design suited for sea conditions. Though eroded, the markings helped confirm its purpose. Its recovery adds a rare, tangible link to early global exploration and Portugal's pivotal role in opening maritime trade routes. Number 8. Cesis Castle inscriptions in Latvia. In August 2020, a winding stone staircase within a castle in Cesis, Latvia, was inspected for the first time in decades. The area had long been inaccessible, and little attention had been given to the passage prior to this reopening. When experts examined the space, they discovered faded inscriptions carved directly into the stone walls of the South Tower. The etchings appear to date to the 16th century and contain a curious mixture of Latin and German, likely the work of someone with limited literacy in both languages. Despite their worn state, scholars were able to decipher part of the Latin. "If God is for us, who can stand against us?" A line from Apostle Paul's letter to the Romans in the Bible. Historical records show the castle came under siege by Ivan the Terrible's forces in 1577 during the Livonian War. The carvings may have been made during this violent period, preserved in stone as a final prayer from a desperate defender. Number 7. Tooth jewelry from Çatalhöyük. In 2019, archaeologists excavating at Çatalhöyük in Turkey discovered 2 human teeth drilled and strung together as jewelry. Found at one of the world's oldest Neolithic sites, settled roughly 8,500 years ago, the teeth had likely been worn as a necklace or decorative pendant. They are the first known examples of tooth ornaments from ancient Anatolia. Each tooth belonged to a different adult between the ages of 30 and 50, and the drilled holes suggest intentional crafting for adornment. The absence of burial context indicates the teeth weren't grave goods, but were worn above ground, possibly as personal tokens or charms. Tooth jewelry is exceedingly rare in this region, implying symbolic meaning for the wearer. Whether they served as keepsakes from loved ones or as ritual objects is unknown, but their preservation offers unique insight into Neolithic practices of ornamentation. Researchers now hope additional finds will help determine how widespread such customs were in Çatalhöyük. Number 6. Sego Canyon petroglyphs. The petroglyphs found in Sego Canyon, Utah, have fascinated archaeologists and researchers for decades. Photographed again in September 2020, the ancient rock art appears to depict humanoid figures with exaggerated features, some with horns or antlers, and others with missing limbs. These figures are not believed to represent literal human forms. Estimated to be between 4,000 and 8,000 years old, the artworks are attributed to several indigenous cultures, including the Barrier Canyon and Fremont peoples. Some scholars suggest they were created by shamans during trance states or spiritual ceremonies, possibly under the influence of hallucinogenic plants. Alternative interpretations include depictions of deities or spiritual entities tied to creation myths. Others have theorized connections to Hopi legends of the Kachina, mysterious beings said to descend from the stars. While fringe theories claim alien contact, mainstream archaeology remains grounded in cultural symbolism. The truth, no one knows. Number 5. Dead slave. While theories have circulated for decades about Romans enslaving people in Britain, actual physical proof has been rare, until now. In 2021, builders working on a home extension in Rutland found the remains of a shackled man. For a moment, they likely feared they'd found a murder victim. However, archaeologists later confirmed that the burial was ancient, dating to either the 3rd or 4th century. The man had been thrown into a pit, still bound at the ankles with iron restraints. Typically, slaves' shackles were removed after death for reuse. This suggests either the man committed a serious crime and was punished by being chained even in death, or there may be another reason entirely. Some Roman texts imply that superstitious beliefs surrounded the dead, that unless bound, they might rise again. If that was the reasoning here, it's still the first solid physical evidence of such a practice, and it changes what we know about Roman Britain. Number 4. Ancient beeswax candle in Norwegian glacier. The glaciers of Norway are shrinking. Whether you think climate change is to blame or not, it's clearly bad for the environment, but oddly beneficial for archaeologists. As the ice recedes, it's revealing frozen remnants of the past. In May 2021, a sealed pine box was discovered in Breheimen National Park's Lenbreen Pass. The box was so well preserved that the lid remained closed. The leather handles were intact, and the beeswax candles inside were still whole. Scientists dated the box to around 1475 using carbon analysis. Back then, candles were expensive, used mostly in seasonal mountain farms where livestock grazed during summer. These temporary shelters lacked proper facilities, and candles would have been the only source of light. The location suggests the box may have fallen off a horse's pack as it crossed the pass. Number 3. Cthulhu fossil. Well, let's talk about some paleontology stuff. Back in 2019, researchers from the University of Bristol and Yunnan University uncovered a 518 million-year-old marine fossil in southern China. Nicknamed the Jurassic Cthulhu for its tentacled shape and bizarre anatomy, the ancient creature was preserved in remarkable detail. Its official name, Daihua Sanqiong, reflects both its floral-like appearance and location. The fossil bears a circular mouth, multiple feeding tentacles, and structures resembling comb jellies. This discovery, found at an undisclosed site, pushes the timeline of comb jelly relatives much further back than previously thought. The area where it was found was once part of a shallow seabed, now lifted by tectonic activity. Unlike later jellyfish, this specimen shows early development of a nervous system and muscle structure. Number 2. Ancient furnace in Beersheba. In 2020, archaeologists announced the discovery of a copper smelting workshop in Israel, dating back 6,500 years. The site stands out for containing one of the oldest known furnaces ever found. Although metallurgy existed elsewhere at the time, tools were still primarily made of stone, making this facility highly advanced for its era. The furnace, though only partially preserved, was identified through clay fragments, slag, and tin residues. It was built for high-temperature refining of copper, possibly for tools or ornaments. The scale of the workshop indicates mass production, suggesting Beersheba may have been a hub for early metal trade. This discovery adds weight to theories that the southern Levant was an origin point for early metallurgy. While nearby regions practiced low-heat smelting, this site demonstrates a leap toward industrial-scale processes. It challenges previously held beliefs about the technological capabilities of Chalcolithic cultures and shifts the focus to the Negev desert as a metallurgical pioneer. Number 1. The Fortress of Takhti Soliman. In northwest Iran lies Takhti Soliman, an immense archaeological site with deep religious and political significance. Built during the Sasanian era in the 6th century, the complex once housed both a Zoroastrian fire temple and a temple dedicated to Anahita, goddess of water. Over time, it evolved into a royal palace, and by the 13th century, under the Ilkhanid dynasty, underwent major expansion. The complex sites atop an artificial mound constructed nearly 2,500 years ago, surrounded by volcanic hills and a high stone wall with carefully placed gates. Part of the site includes a domed structure known as Solomon's Prison, though its purpose remains unclear. The central sacred lake was likely used in rituals. While much of the original architecture has been lost, what remains reflects centuries of adaptation and reuse. From spiritual sanctuary to imperial residence, Takhti Soliman embodies a layered history, one shaped by evolving dynasties, religious convergence, and strategic geography. If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.